Aperture is one of the methods that the camera uses to adjust the exposure, the amount of light that's hitting the sensor inside the camera. And it usually works like this. Inside the lens, you've got a set of very fine overlapping metal blades. I'll show on this other lens here, which slide over each other to vary the size of the hole that the light passes through. So if you're photographing, you've got the camera on automatic and you're photographing somewhere quite dark, then the aperture will open up to let more light in. If you're photographing somewhere very bright and sunny, the aperture will shut down to let less light in. And in this way, you can get the right amount of light, so you get a photograph that's not too bright and not too dark. It's also got a useful side effect, which I'm going to demonstrate today using that guitar. I've set my camera to aperture priority mode, which is shown by the letter A on the mode dial there. On some cameras it's AV. I can now control the aperture by using the thumb control wheel here. Aperture is measured in f-stops. It's a number with a letter F in front of it, and the smaller the number, the larger the aperture, the larger the hole. That's a bit that tends to confuse some people. So smaller the number, larger the hole. So I'm going to set f2.8. The camera is going to set the shutter speed for me, so that's dealt with automatically. And I'm going to photograph the guitar neck here, focusing on this pick halfway up the neck. And you can see that you get a very shallow depth of focus. It's only the pick that's in focus. Everything beyond that and everything closer to the camera than that is out of focus. I'm now going to take a photograph at a much smaller aperture. So if I just adjust that to f16, still focusing on the pick, take another photograph and we get that. So you should notice that much more of the scene is in sharp focus from front to back. The smaller the aperture is, the more depth of focus you get, the more depth of sharp focus. It's quite a useful creative tool. It gets used a lot, for example, for portraits. If you want to take a sort of head and shoulders photograph of someone, you can have their face sharp and you can have the background blurred out.